Welcome everybody, I'm Michael Dallas. I'm president of the Scenic Shores Neighborhood Association. Just wanted to bring everybody up to date on our Love Circle tree planting project. As you know, over the last 3 years we have planted over nearly 200 trees on Love Circle Park. For those who don't know about Love Circle Park, it's an 80-acre neighborhood park on that fronts Jacksboro Highway just off of beautiful Lake Worth here in Fort Worth. And 3 years ago, we actually planted 60 trees on one end of the park, and 2 years ago we planted another 130 trees. So we've got about 190 trees that we've planted out here, all natives, all natural. We have had some challenges out here, so I want to just bring you up to date with what's going on with the trees and what's going on with those challenges. And when we first installed the trees, what we did was we just dropped them in the ground, and so we had the irrigation pipe around the bottom and then the tree. We've actually found that we need a couple other items to make this successful. The first thing we need was mulch. We had to put mulch over the irrigation pipe. And that does a couple things. One, it protects the irrigation pipe from the mowers, and the second thing it does is it actually creates a nice wet spot. It makes sure that the tree doesn't dry up too fast, and so we can water it and it stays moist, and the mowers for the most part don't chew up the pipes too often. The second thing that we found that we needed was this cage. The cage for the same reasons. Actually, one is to keep the mowers from chopping on the tree with their weed whackers, because the tree bark is very thin, and the mowers were coming up, and after they mowed, there was no bark on it, the tree would die. So the cage helped for that. The other thing that the cage helps for is the deer. The deer like to come in. We have 80 acres here. The deer will sit out here and they will forage. But then in the fall, when the bucks get that fuzz on their horns, they want to scrape their horns, and so they'll come out here and they will scrape the tree, and they'll do the same thing that the mowers did. They'll scrape the bark off and the tree will die. And so the cage helps to protect the tree, particularly at this young stage. The other thing that we need on a lot of the trees are these sticks, and what we would do is we stick these sticks in the ground and then tie them. What we found is that the prevailing wind that comes across here is pretty strong, and what we were seeing was the trees would be all tilted over, which I guess doesn't really hurt them, but from an aesthetic point of view, we were trying to straighten the trees up a little bit. So really that's kind of the 4 parts of the tree planting, 4 or 5 parts. You've got the irrigation, you've got the mulch on the irrigation, of course you got the tree, you've got the wire that protects from the deer and the mowers, and then you've got the stick to straighten up the tree as well. And so that is the learning curve that we've had on keeping the trees healthy, and it's not 100%. We still lose some trees to the deer, we still lose some trees to the mowers, but it does work quite well. Here's a good example of the challenges that we've got out here. What you can see here is the wire mesh has been raked up by the deer. They're trying to get to the tree and rake their horns against this tree. And when they did, they pulled the wire up. And when they pulled the wire up, then it exposed our irrigation hose. And then the mowers came along with their weed eater and whacked the hose. So I've got to replace this loop of hose right here. But between the mowers and the deer, and we also have animals that will actually dig up the irrigation and bite it, trying to get the water out. So between the 3 of them, it's quite a challenge to keep everything running out here. The irrigation won't work unless it won't work if there's too many leaks. It's a drip irrigation, so we've got to maintain a certain pressure. And if there are too many leaks, then there's too much water coming out, the pressure drops, and the irrigation doesn't work right. So it's quite a challenge, but we're staying on top of it. I think today this is the only leak I've got. I've got several trees that have been raked off, so we're going to have to replace those. Well, that's a quick update of what's going on here at Love Circle Park. Right now it doesn't look like much. It's the end of the winter. The trees don't have many leaves on them, so for the most part, you can't even see them standing out here except for the weeds. But in a few years, this place is going to be beautiful. Love Circle Park is going to be really a gem for the Lake Worth area. I want to thank everybody that's helped. There's a lot of people that have helped make this possible, and so I want to put a thank you out there for you. I'm Michael Dallas. We'll see you next time.